Hello, can you hear me? Testing this microphone. All right. Greetings, salutations. I hope you're all doing well. And if anyone's coming on board, just tell me if you can hear me okay. I want to make sure I've got the sound volume working, the microphone working. Yeah, I know I'm a little bit early, but greetings. How you all doing tonight? I see we got some people joining. Can you hear me okay? Would someone let me know, please? I know when I've done this in the past, sometimes I had some issues getting the audio to work right. I think it is, but all right, cool. Well, thank you all for tuning in this evening, and this is not going to be super long. I promise you that. And have, I think, what I would consider kind of a fun announcement that we'll do at the end. And so without further delay, let me get my notes out here, and we'll get started. All right. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Phil. Thank you, Rickert Life. Appreciate that. Glad you can hear me. Excellent. Thank you. I just wanted to say a big shout out. Thank you all again for subscribing, for participating, for making this channel something grander than I ever imagined it could be. I've been astounded at how the channel's kind of grown, and especially in the last several months. And so I want to say welcome to all of you that have joined recently. If you don't happen to have a YouTube channel of your own, it's a little strange how you may see one or two people that have joined, but your subscription numbers can change by 6 or 7 numbers. So I don't know the majority of those of you that click subscribe, and that's okay. But I do hope that those of you that are interested, we can converse over time. And it's enjoyable to meet those of you that leave comments. And so thank you very, very much for that. And in fact, I might just segue into the comments thing. Those of you that are leaving comments, for the most part, just fantastic. You're stretching me. You're educating all of us. There's some humor involved. It just really makes this space an awesome place when we have those comments running. And so thank you very much. Just kind of some housekeeping. If you would, please keep the comments positive, keep them constructive. We certainly want to keep this environment a good one, where others are encouraged to participate. And if for some reason I do something that just royally ticks you off, first of all, no, it's not intentional. But if you really have a need to come at me, please don't do it in the comments section. Please use that email, aftrainfun@gmail.com. I will put that link or that hyperlink in the comment section underneath this video. Again, I'm happy to discuss anything with anyone regarding a video I've posted, and whether I need to be corrected or you've got some other ideas. But let's not use the comments section on videos as a format for that. Just again, we want to keep this in a encouraging environment as much as possible. I did also want to mention how awesome or how much I learn from you guys. Recently, I posted a video on a talking station, and I kind of struggled a little bit to get my fingers and my tools down on either side of this motor in a very cramped space to try and get the motor loose, to get it freed up, to find out what was going on. And one of you who's just, well, let's be honest, you're a lot smarter than I am, said how you just bend the tabs on the outside frame underneath and just lift that up so you can get to it. That's the kind of thing that is so incredibly helpful, because now anyone that has a talking station they need to work on or maintenance or lubricate, just take the outsides off and you can get to everything. You don't have to take the guts loose. This is why I need you guys. Thank you very much. I don't claim to be the brightest bulb in the box, or whatever you want to say there. All right. Last weekend, I know this kind of struck a couple of you that commented about it a little by surprise. 3 videos showed up on Friday, and I want to apologize for that. I actually scheduled those videos to be staggered by a couple days, and been doing this a long time now, and I know how to post videos on YouTube. I know how to schedule when they release, and I can't for the life of me figure out why those 3 released all at once. I know that caused confusion, and I know for those of you that tend to watch these videos on a television where you don't necessarily see the comment section under the videos, it was maybe a little hard to navigate. I did put, part 1, part 2, part 3 in the thumbnails at the beginning of those videos, but again, you may have missed them. But if you find yourself kind of stumbling around wondering, wait a minute, this seems like it's in the middle of a series or whatnot, please check the comments section. And if you are watching via television, if you have a way to get to a computer, you may find that there's some links in the comments section that'll direct you to some of the other series. I have done a couple of them. There's a 312 that I think I'm up to 8 different sections of that, and I think there's probably going to be one more till that is all said and done. And I've gone into the comments below each of those videos, and I've put links to every single video in the series. The other thing you can do is I have playlists. So every video I post is going to show up in a playlist somewhere. Sometimes they show up in a couple different playlists if I'm a little bit ambiguous on what the best fit is. But again, you can go to a playlist and you can find certain types of videos, and those playlists are labeled. And if you go to the home screen on the YouTube channel, Austin's American Flyer YouTube, there's obviously an opening screen, but then there's some tabs. If you look kind of in the middle of the screen below the picture, and you'll see, the kind of the home page, and then there's videos, or if you wanted to just start at the newest or oldest video and play all the way through, or if you want to go to just playlists, that's another one of those tabs. So again, some of you probably are like, why are you telling me this? Of course you know that. But there are some that may not be familiar with it, so I thought I'd mention it. All right. So moving right along, I wanted to mention just a couple things. Whoops, sorry about that. About some upcoming projects, more accessory stuff on the way. About 1.5 years ago, I had been to a show and I came back and I was like, hey, I got, this project and this project and this project, and included a pretty beat up Guilford Station New Haven passenger car that just, it needs a repaint, it was in bad shape. In fact, if you remember, I was showing the car and the wheel fell off. So anyhow, let's see. So Guilford cars, I have 2 electromagnetic cranes that are completely in parts that I've been trying to get some additional parts to do. So that's a project that's coming up. I've got a milk car that I picked up that's in really bad shape that will be a feature coming up. There's something that I'm not going to tell you about yet, but I will say that it involves the help of some other people. It involves it'll involve some painting. It involves some decals. It'll potentially involve some electronics. And when it's done, I think it's going to be awesome. So that project may not happen. I could see that easily being, 6, 8, 10 months off till I can get that ready for viewing. But there's some neat stuff in the works. I wanted to check in too and just see if any of you have feedback on these interviews that I've done a few of. I know Dan, which we just talked about, Dan Hess, Dave, Train Out at Dave's, those 3 videos that dropped last weekend. I've gotten some comments about people really appreciating seeing some of his amazing collection. And Dave, if you happen to be on here right now, just again, thank you so much for your hospitality. I've heard from people that know you personally that you are the real deal. You are just about as kind and kind of the world's greatest guy ever. So, yeah, thanks again. We appreciated seeing your collection. And again, I know I learned some things that I didn't know. I don't happen to get much outside of the S-Gauge world. So there's some really, really cool stuff. Hello, Roberto. Thanks for chiming in. Nice to meet you. So yeah, also we talked to Matt a few months back, and I don't know how many of you have had the chance to meet many young people in this hobby, especially the S-Gauge hobby. And so I know it was awesome to meet Matt, and I saw he recently released a video, and we might be able to check in with him again at some time down the road. I would say that I'm aware of potentially a couple other interview-related videos coming up, and I think they're pretty awesome content. Again, the neat thing about doing that is you guys get to see stuff that is completely different from what I can show you, and the two guys that I'm thinking of are phenomenal. You will absolutely be blown out of the water by who they are and what they do. So that's the tidbit, that's the teaser. All right. So another thing down the road, it probably shouldn't be down the road. It probably should have happened already, but my lease has run out, so to speak. And if you are married, you probably understand what that means. My permitting has exceeded its statute of limitations. In other words, I need to move the layout. And that needs to happen sooner rather than later. And so just that's going to be a project. Again, I made the layout so that it actually tips up on its side. There are wheels that drop down. I can roll it. Not a big deal. But obviously, I've got to remove stuff off that's going to be loose. I've got a few wires I'm going to have to snip and then reattach. But here comes the part that I'm hoping you might offer some help or counsel with. Two things. Number one is I'm interested in potentially adding more accessories to the layout. The layout that I have right now is fun. You can watch trains run. There's a little bit of interaction with some of the accessories. Hey, Joey, nice to see you again. Where was I? Oh, yeah. There's some accessories that are involved right now, but there's a few more, like the sawmill that you saw, that second talking station. There's a couple other things that you haven't seen yet that I'd like to incorporate into the layout, and I'm not quite sure what to do with that. So if you have any suggestions, if you have a favorite track plan, if you've got a layout that you've kind of got a great way of using the accessories and interacting with those, let me know. Again, my layout is basically 4 loops. The innermost loop is a figure 8. The second innermost loop goes up and over itself. The third innermost loop has a siding and some switching. It's got the coaling tower, the log loader on it. You've all seen that. And then the outer loop is just a circle or an oval with passing siding. So it's a pretty basic layout, and it's 6 feet by 18 feet long. So if any of you have some suggestions, please let me know. And it's not completely out of the question to potentially add a little bit of width or a little bit of length. I still have one of those tables that actually created the foundation for my layout that I haven't used yet. So those are some thoughts. Okay, that's part one. Part two is, and Dave, I blame you for this. Well, okay, I'll take some of the responsibility, but actually you're really the guy. That is, I used to be an HO, and I just kind of put that away, and I've been doing the flyer thing for several years now. Love it very much. But my HO stuff is awesome from the standpoint that I have great big steam engines, and I have DCC, so I've got sound effects, lighting, smokes, and I've got a lot of cars, so you can have really long trains, which I kind of miss that. And so I've kind of been thinking, would there be a way to, move the flyer layout, get that reset and operational, but then somehow add some HO to it, and then a little bit of Lionel. I've got one Lionel set that I may not have for long if someone is interested in it, but at this point I have it. And so I was like, well, if I got it, I should set the track up and let it run. And then when people come, it's just one more thing that people can operate. And again, Dave, you are so inspiring with what you've done at your home. And when I grow up, I want to be like you. So, all right. Dave's ego is probably going nuts by this point. I wanted to also mention, if you need flyer repair, the shop is open here. I've been doing a little bit more and a little bit more frequently repairs for people. So if that's anything that you would appreciate, please email me at aftrainfun@gmail.com. That's kind of the place to connect with me for all things flyer. I do case-by-case basis with payments and stuff, and I'm very reasonable. My goal is to get just a little bit of remuneration, but primarily get you back up and running as effectively as possible. So keep that in mind. And then last but not least, before we get to the big surprise, a big reveal, is if you have some suggestions for a flyer video, let me know. I have ideas and, stuff comes to mind, but I know that a lot of you have all kinds of other thoughts. And if you have something that you've wished you could see, a project, or you've got something that doesn't work, or what, I don't know. Whatever the case may be, again, send me an email at aftrainfun@gmail.com. Again, that's aftrainfun@gmail.com. And I'll see if I can incorporate your suggestions. All right. Now the drum roll, what you've all been waiting for. I had someone connect with me who is elderly, and they have been amassing flyer for quite some time. And of late, they've been trying to reduce their collection. They've been selling stuff off, and the gentleman's health is not very good. And he told me recently that he's done trying to mess with that. It's just more than he can bear. So one of the things he wanted me to do is see if maybe I could find some people that would be interested in his stuff. So I did some head scratching, trying to figure out how could this work. So here's an idea. What I did, and hopefully you can read this. On my screen, everything's backwards, so hopefully you can read it. We're going to try a silent auction. Let me get back in the light here. We're going to try a silent auction. So what does that mean? Well, it means I don't have a way to give you some sort of live feedback on here's the current price. But we're going to try it with a couple items. And basically, I will put in a reserve, or I'll tell you what the reserve is. So that's going to be the base price. And then if you decide you want it and you're willing to pay a little more for it, then you can send an email with your name and that amount to this email address. There's a new email just for the silent auction. And what we'll plan on doing is we'll keep these particular items running for 7 days. Okay, so during that 7-day time, anyone and everyone who wants to can submit bids. And if I happen to see that there are multiple bids that are the same amount, then we'll go to the first one that was that amount. We'll get priority. So then after that 7 days, whoever has the winning bid, I will notify you, and we'll figure out, payment and shipping and all that stuff. So I'll be in touch with you that way. And we'll just try this and see what happens. I'm going to put this information here. Joey says he can read it, but he had to put on his glasses. I don't know. Is that better? I will go ahead and list all these details again underneath this video for those of you that want to review it. So without further ado, here are two kind of cool items. that we are going to begin our silent auction with. The first, no stranger, is Cow on Track. This comes with the original box, as you can see, in pretty good shape. Just a little bit of a tear here. And inside here we have the instructions. Now these are not the original instructions, but they're very clear. I'll show you those in a moment. We've got the control button. Great shape. Nothing's broken. Wires are still soldered. Everything looks great. And then we have Mr. Cow here. And I did go ahead and check this out just to make sure it works. And everything does work as it should. So I wanted to go ahead and get that in front of all of you. And then, okay, the instructions, I was just going to show you. Again, these are not original flyer instructions, but they're obviously well done, very clear. So this is the number 23791, Cow on Track. And the reserve on this with box in very good condition is $40. So let the bidding commence, and we'll see what happens. I guess what I forgot to say is anything that doesn't sell will get reposted on some of the more traditional, well-known websites that I shall not name, with a little bit higher reserve. But based on what I could find, $40 seems to be on the kind of lower end of what these in the box are going for. All right, so that's item number one. Item number two, check this out. Look at this, would you? This box is in very good shape. And inside, I'm gonna just, sorry for those of you that get motion sickness, but inside here, we've got packaging. We've got all of the pieces that you need, including the ramps. There's instructions. And, of course, the car with the trailers. And here are the original flyer instructions. In great shape, crisp still, not discolored at all. And what is kind of amazing to me is in this box, I mean, it's all the cardboard stuff. I don't really know how it all goes together, but there's cardboard, there's tissue paper. I mean, it's the original packaging. This, again, very, very nice condition. Box is in wonderful shape. The bid, or the reserve, I should say, on the piggyback loader unloader with car and trailers is $60. So again, let the bidding commence. Both of these items will run for 7 days starting now. So basically 7 o'clock a week from today, we will stop the bidding and see where we're at. So let me know if you what you think about this idea. If this happens to work, the guy's got a lot more stuff. He's got stuff in boxes that's kind of in very nice shape. Then he's got some runner stuff that's going to be less expensive. He's got diesel engines. He's got cars, track, steam engines, on and on and on it goes. So yeah, I guess we'll see what happens and go from there. All right. Hey, thank you very much for your time tonight. And hey, Tadpole, good to see you. Kent, nice to see you. Let's see. Kent asks, will all sale items be shown on video or will the list be posted somewhere? That's a great question. Yeah, maybe. I hadn't thought about that. Like I said, I tested the Cow on Track and it works. I didn't set the car loader up. That's a really good point. Let me ponder that a little bit. I think with just two items, probably I won't do more than that. But maybe in the future I will. But Kent, Excellent question. And I guess, yeah, if you guys want to see these somehow featured, yeah, maybe that's a brilliant way to go. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this. And as always, thank you so very much for your time. I appreciate you all very much. And thank you for making this hobby such a blast. You guys are absolutely the best people in the world. And it's been a pleasure to talk with you in different ways. And until next time, enjoy your flyer trains. God bless. Take care. We'll see you.